Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Elevate Live Q&A. So I thought I would just jump on live in my normal Friday coffee break slot and give you an opportunity to ask any questions you have about my Elevate program. So before I dive into some of the common questions that people ask me before they join Elevate, I thought I'd just give you a little bit of background to really the story behind me starting Elevate as a program. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Emily and I am the founder of Lead Your Way. And in January 2018, I believe, I had two periods of stopping work due to stress and burnout. I'd been managing significant change in my role and I'd taken up a new role that I'd been doing for, gosh, I can't remember how long. And it appeared that things just weren't working with the structure, the way the team was working, wasn't working for me, for my skill set, for who I was. And my boss approached me and suggested that the structure change. He made an assumption that I would want to take on a particular role in that structure. And at that point, I felt actually now is the time to make a significant change in my life. And during that period when I worked my notice, in fact, I worked and took on a new team during my 3-month notice period. And during that time, I started to get some clarity on really what I wanted to do with my life. But that started with an understanding of who I was and what were my strengths. And for so long, I had sought to work hard and get noticed and follow that kind of career ladder progression. And I realised that that wasn't working out for me as a success strategy. If you've watched my Women Rise Up roadmap, it's not too late to sign up, and just DM me and I'll send you the link to the recording. I'd been working on a success strategy that relied on me working harder. I thought that I needed to work harder and harder to prove to myself that I could be successful and to prove to other people. And I suppose when you hit rock bottom, when I suppose the certainty of a secure job, of a promotion, of the reward and recognition that you get, of the validation that you get from having a job title, from managing a big team, from having the paycheck, was stripped away when I made that choice to take voluntary redundancy. And I didn't really know what I was going to do next. In fact, I applied for a really big senior role in a very high profile organisation. It's an amazing job, and I didn't get the job. And it was partly that process was also a very helpful process for me to sort of really reconsider actually, where do I just want to keep going up this ladder, or do I want to make a change? And I share that because that led me to where I am today. That was kind of the start of a process of me then becoming a coach, training to become a coach, really understanding more deeply about leadership, about the way we work as teams. And the more I understood about leadership, the more I understood that actually the core behind how we lead others, how we work with others, how we are successful, productive, whatever it might be in our career, it starts with us. It starts with understanding ourselves, and it starts with self-acceptance. And so I ran a leadership program called Leadership Reset. You can access that online. In fact, if you sign up to Elevate, you'll get all of that content for free as part of signing up to Elevate. But as I was running that program, I also thought actually I want to do something a little bit deeper. I want to enable women to go on a longer journey, to experience a true transformation in understanding who they are, how they show up, in identifying their strengths and their values and what they want to achieve in the world, and to work with them over a period of time so that they can take meaningful action. And I pondered and I sat on the idea for Elevate for about 6 months. It was really April 2021 that the idea came to me, and I was full of fear, full of anxiety about, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right approach to take to help people, which is really just what I desired to do. And in November 2021, I'd sat on it, and I had a big low, I suppose. I felt really like I was going to give up on my business in November 2021. And I remember it was Remembrance Sunday, and we were all gathering to remember my father's death. And I spoke to my family, and I said, I'm going to give up. But then actually, really quickly after that, something changed in my mind, and it was like a sort of rocket boost, that kick up the arse probably is a better way to describe it. And everything shifted for me, and I thought, sod it, I'm just going to launch this. I didn't have the content ready. I just had a passion and a desire to help women grow in their career, to find purpose, to find clarity in their career, and to journey with them for over a 6-month period. I put it out into the world. I ran my first Women Rise Up live. I had 150 people sign up to Women Rise Up in December 2021, and 9 amazing women jumped in after that to join Elevate. And I suppose the rest is history, but the most powerful thing was I would never have dreamt what 2022 would have delivered for me. So during that first 6 months when I ran Elevate, my life changed completely, because my mother was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of cancer. She had a malignant melanoma, a mucosal melanoma that spread rapidly throughout her body very quickly. So during that 6 months when I led those 9 women, I was also a carer. I was grieving. I was managing all sorts of situations. And at the very end, in June, 19th of June last year, my mother died at the end of the programme. And I share that not for sympathy, but to say that Elevate is so unique, because I know that in a 6-month period, life will happen. I hope that death doesn't happen, but stuff happens. When I think about the stuff that's happened in the lives of the women that I've journeyed with over the past 12 months, 18 months in fact, since I launched the program, life happens, and that is the beauty of this program. Elevate is an opportunity to walk with a small cohort of women. I won't take more than 9 women on the program, and see a transformation in your life, see a transformation in their lives, and journey together with accountability, with friendship, with love, with care, with a little bit of challenge along the way. And that is the journey that I am inviting you to go on. And I suppose I sort of see that you might be in one of 3 places, and I will get on to answering the questions for you in a minute. Number 1 is maybe you've just taken a step up. You've taken that promotion. Imagine if I did get that big job, I was like, right, I'm here. This is like where I am. I'm so excited to be in the position with this big job. And like I was when I managed a big team, but I was out a little bit out of my depth, and I didn't have a support network around me. If you know that actually, you need a place to go each week to say, I'm facing into this challenge. I've got this big presentation coming up. I've got a difficult conversation that I need to have. I'm feeling self-doubt. We will be there for you. This program will help you clarify your values, your strengths, your build and grow your self-awareness and your self-acceptance, so you're no longer relying on that validation from, oh, your boss said that you did a very good presentation. You're holding true to who you are and feeling really, really confident deep down in that, but equally, not in a kind of arrogant way, you are ready to grow and learn. So if you're in that position where you've taken a step up, or you want to take a step up, and you need that kind of confidence boost to get that job application in, to, you know, we can read your job application, we can have a coaching session to prep you for your interview, all of that, we are there for you. You might feel, actually, gosh, I couldn't even imagine writing a CV or applying for a job. But I know I want more, and I'm in a busy job. I know what I'm doing. People come to me with questions, but I'm burning out. You are working hard, you're getting the job done. You know, people respect you, but you know this isn't perhaps where you really deep down want to be, and you're not operating in a way that is fulfilling and life-giving and enabling you to spend time with your family, or spend time with your loved ones, or work on your health, and actually, you know, you need to make a change. So Elevate will help you, because it will help you to clarify what matters most for you. It will help you to set some really clear boundaries, help you to say no, help you to ask for what you want, help you to grow in that inner confidence. And if it's right that you move on, or come up with a new idea, or start your own business, whatever that is, we can help you to take that action. And then the final group is someone who might be what I call it a career crossroads, which maybe was where I was when I took voluntary redundancy. You know, everything had fallen away, and I did not know what the next step was. If that is you, or if you know, through life circumstance, whether it might be bereavement, it might be you're supporting caring for a loved one, or you there's a big transition that's happened in your life, like your kids have gone to school, or your kids have left home, whatever that might be, or you've just become a parent maybe. Elevate can help you, because it can help you clarify again what matters most, like looking at, you know, which areas of your life are you investing your time and your energy in, but more importantly, you know, what is your purpose, where is your meaning, what's your why, and we will help you grow in confidence so that you can take that first step, whatever that first step is. So if you're one of those three people, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure, Elevate may or may not be for me, I've got some questions. So here are the common questions that I get when people are thinking about joining, but they are not sure. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of water. It's promising to be an amber weather warning, but it's not quite that warm yet here. So how much time does Elevate take? Before I answer that question, I'm going to flip that around for you, and to say, how much time are you willing to invest in making a change in your life? And really the root of that question, how much time does Elevate take, is a belief that you do not have enough time. So a belief that maybe, you know, you're so busy that you don't have time. Well, I guess that if you don't have time to make a change, then you will not make the change. The change isn't going to happen without investing your time and your energy. And you have a choice. You can choose to invest that time by working on it yourself, by coming up with solutions, by you know, reflecting every day, or you know, setting aside time. But chances are, obviously, that is going to get squeezed, because you're not being held to account. So, for example, you know, joining a gym, or joining a fitness or health or weight loss program. You know, when you join a program like that, you're more likely to have successful outcomes, rather than trying to do something on your own. And you know, if you don't have time to work on your personal life and career growth, maybe you find it's okay, it's better to stay where you are. That's okay. And maybe now isn't the time to make that shift for you. But if actually deep down you just feel that kind of knot in your chest or your throat or wherever you hold that anxiety or that sense of actually no, this is the time. If now is the time, then I would really encourage you to consider how much time you're spending on lots of other things. So Elevate there's a 90-minute session every week. It's going to be on a Monday at 12:30, so sort of crossing over with your lunch break. And you don't have to stay for the full 90 minutes, you can just stay for an hour. Everything is recorded and uploaded onto a Facebook group, so you can always catch up if you can't make it live. So 90 minutes a week. I know that I spend on average about 2 hours a day on this device. So that's 2 times 7 is 14 hours a week I spend on this device. So if you put that into perspective, actually, could you rob some time from social media? Could you rob some time from looking at YouTube or whatever it is that you enjoy doing on your phone? Could you transfer some of that time to dedicate to being able to spend time with a group of up to 8 other women, where you will be coached, you'll be held accountable, I will offer you teaching and support, where you will, I suppose, start to transform your life week by week. So short answer is it's 90 minutes. You can put as much extra time into your reflections, your actions. And the other thing to say is that when you take action, some of the actions will free up time. So we'll talk about our boundaries, for example, and how we're working with other people. And actually some of our kind of the practices in your life may not be serving you and helping you to free up time. And rest, reflection, all of these things are powerful energizers. And the more we're working in our natural strength and our natural energy, the more impact that you will be able to have. So actually time will slow down, speed up, whatever the phrase is, but you will find that you will actually have more time if you invest time. The second question is, how much does it cost? So the short answer is £690 if you book before next Friday. That's a week today. If you book before next Friday, it's £690 or £120 a month if you pay for 6 monthly payments. If money is really an issue, I can talk to you about spreading those payments out over a longer period of time. I don't want money to be a barrier. But I also want to ask, what is it costing you not to take action? So it might be a promotion, which would offer you a pay rise. It might be your health. Ultimately, if you don't have your health, you don't have an opportunity to work or earn money. Time with your family, how much does that cost? What's the value that you'd put on that? And I worked out this morning that within the program, if you just take the 90 minutes and not even adding on the online content, so if I add that on, it's probably about just the coaching sessions, it's £20 per hour for coaching. My one-to-one coaching is £160 per hour. So you are getting 36 hours worth of coaching for £690. I hope I've done the maths correctly. That doesn't sound quite right. Anyway, you're getting 36 hours of coaching for £690 plus all of the online content. So there are 8 online modules, each about an hour long, broken down into bite-sized videos. We cover a module about every 3 weeks, so it's quite slow paced. We're not kind of pushing you through, and you get access to the online content for a whole year, for 12 months. There's no rush. You also get a free, within that £690, you get a one-to-one coaching session with me, which I said is worth £160. And you get access to any online programs that I run in the 6 months of Elevate. So those are the 2 big ones, cost and time. Next one is, who are the other women joining the group? And I want to speak to the fear behind that. And the fear behind that is around I won't fit in. The other women are going to be more successful. better than me. They're going to race ahead. They'll have more successful outcomes than me. They'll be different from me. I want, I feel nervous about being in a group with women. And I just want to say that, there are many things that I'm not brilliant at, and I feel a lot of self-doubt about. But one of the things I'm really, really clear on in terms of my super strength, and that is that I create safe spaces. So the way I facilitate the sessions, is in a way that there is no competition. There is 100% love, acceptance, support. The relationships that are formed within this group are so powerful. I just had a WhatsApp group, and one lady was leaving one of my other ongoing programs, and she's forming connections. People like almost feel a bit jealous because they all say, "Oh, we'll stay in touch," and they keep meeting up and engaging. So you will meet. I can promise you. I've not worked with. No one has joined the program who is not amazing. So I work with amazing women. So you will meet some amazing women. They will be different from you. And I personally think that is an absolutely brilliant thing. I don't want all, identical people in identical stages in their career with identical problems or situations that they want to work on. But there will be a common thread. So I talked about 3 common threads that might be relevant. That will draw people together, but people's life circumstances might be wildly different. I've had people, a lot of the people obviously that work with me are from the charity sector. I've had small business owners, people in various different situations, and that is actually something that is so special and really so powerful. And the other thing to say is probably about 60% of the women that join my programs then stay on for my follow-up Live Life with Impact program. And so many of the women that I'm still working with, I've been working with for 18 months. So hopefully that's evidence that that people go on a journey. And some come and go when they know that I'm there, and the support is available. If you want to kind of get a glimpse of the dynamics of how a group works, next Wednesday I am doing a Live Life Live, which will be an opportunity for you to just spy on me chatting to 3 members from my last June cohort of Elevate. So they will be sharing their story, we'll be chatting, so we'll be going live here inside Lead Your Way, so an opportunity to just hear from them, hear their stories for you. What next question? What outcomes, and please do ask any questions in the chat, even if you're on a replay. I can always pop in live to ask those questions, and of course you can book a discovery call with me. If you're on my email list, you'll have received a link to that. What if I can't make all the sessions? If you can't make all the sessions, obviously totally understand. It's a weekly program, so we have holidays and breaks, whatever, things happen. And there will be a break for the first 2 weeks in August when I go on holiday, but I will still be available. So first thing to say is that we have a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, depending on how what people want. WhatsApp seems to work really well. So I jump in every Monday with a reflection and a thought, and we talk and share and support each other. Basically, I'm available inside that group between 9 and 5 on weekdays, but you're welcome to pop in at any point. If you can't make the sessions, they are all recorded, so you can catch up, unless some conversations we just feel aren't appropriate to record. If you miss a week in a month, it really doesn't matter. You're still journeying with, you're still building relationships, you're still receiving a huge amount of value in the program. what if it's not for me? If I join, I'm just like, oh, this really is not what I expected, Emily. You sold me down a river. I do ask that you just commit, give it a go for 3 months, turn up to the sessions, watch the online content. I can honestly say you will get value from those three months. But if at the end of 3 months you think actually no, this isn't the right thing, then I will offer you a 50% refund. You will still have access to the Elevate online content for 12 months. So I suppose the risk, so what's half 690, so £345, that would be the risk, but you still get access to all of the online content. Some people ask, can you invoice? Yes, I can invoice you if you want to pay by invoice. In fact, it's cheaper for me because I don't have to pay credit card payments. If you want your employer to pay, I know lots of organisations have paid, and I have a PDF that I can offer you to give to your employer, or I can always have a conversation with your manager. I suppose the way to frame it, because it's not sort of that traditional kind of leadership training, is Elevate will support you in growing with confidence. So if you have had a conversation with your boss about confidence, about growing your self esteem, about becoming bolder in the workplace, any of those sorts of conversations, we can frame it in that way, because that will be one of the key outcomes. And then the final question really is around outcomes, like what outcomes will I expect? What's the transformation that I will see in my life? Join next Wednesday, because that's when we'll go in a bit more depth into sort of the real transformations that have been seen with some of my clients. And I would say, it is a journey. So one of the first key outcomes is you will have habits that will help you to overcome challenges as you move forward. So the first thing we work on is our inner critic. And our inner critic shows up. My inner critic is shouting behind me saying, Emily, this isn't working. What are you doing? No one's watching this live. But I still feel, I know that inner critic is there, but I am able to work through that voice in the back of my head that says that I'm not good enough. So one outcome will be that, number one, you notice and you listen, and you are aware of your inner critic, because sometimes actually we are so good at suppressing our inner critic, we don't even know what it's saying. So number one, you will be able to move through moments of self-doubt quicker than you've ever been able to before. You will notice it, you will spot it, you will move through. So that's number one outcome, because I can't promise that you won't have an inner critic, because I know very, very successful people who have their inner critic is still there. So I'm not going to make that promise. I'm going to make the promise though that you will be able to notice and move through. That's number one outcome. Number two, because you have that sense of being able to move through that inner critic, you will have that inner self-confidence. You will have tapped into your inner mentor. You will know who she is. You will know how to draw on her wisdom. And as you do that, you will grow in confidence. You will grow in self-worth. And you will then start to take action. So what actions you take, I do not prescribe. I'm not saying by the end of this program you will have started your business. By the end of this program you'll be earning a salary of 100,000. By the end of this program you will have got that promotion. That is not how I operate. I operate with you identifying what your goals are. Where do you want to get to, and how do you want to get there? And I will support you to hold you to account. So if you've got goals, if you've got dreams, or even if you're not sure of your goals and your dreams, I will help you to identify those goals and dreams and work towards getting there. Whether that's halfway there in 6 months, whether that's there and there again and there again, that is defined by you, because you are in control of your life. And my desire is to enable you to take back that control, to not let life lead you. So we're at half past 10. So those are the kind of key questions really that I hear when I am talking to potential elevators. So if you feel you are ready to elevate, or if you've got any more questions, please do jump on a discovery call with me. I'm taking those, all of next week. I would love to talk to you and answer any questions that you might have. Join the Live Life Live, which will be here on Wednesday, the 14th of June at 12:30, and get a chance to meet some of the lovely ladies that I have been working with over the past year. And sign up if you want your employer to pay, as long as you let me know by 5 p.m. next Friday, and I can get the invoice in. I don't have to have the money in the bank, as it were, but I do need to, sorry, dog arrived, have your commitment by that point. Final details, we start on Monday the 26th of June. The final deadline to sign up is Friday the 23rd of June at 5 p.m. And we start on Monday the 26th of June. We will be meeting at 12:30 on Mondays, unless everyone in the group says that is completely impossible, but that's where I've got it in my diary for now. So any questions, please do let me know. I hope you have a lovely weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I am super excited to be celebrating that after a year when I didn't celebrate last year. So as ever, any questions, and I look forward to seeing you here next Wednesday alongside my lovely ladies from my last June Elevate cohort. Have a lovely weekend.